Have you ever walked into a stable and felt like something was off, like the animals were in a trance or possessed?
Today's lineup is wild, and we're diving into everything from ghostly encounters to what might be the first ever footage of a giant cat cryptid. But before I spoil you too much, let's start with the truly bizarre, the possessed animals. A woman who owns a stable captured something truly strange right on her property. As she looked out, she saw her horses all standing perfectly still, lined up in a straight row, facing the same direction, almost like they were frozen in time. She started filming, and oddly enough, they stayed that way for an unusually long period, not moving an inch. They weren't even twitching, shifting, or showing signs of restlessness till the footage ended. Now, animals, especially horses, can sometimes enter a trance-like state as a response to certain environmental factors. It can be a coping mechanism, a form of deep relaxation, or even a result of specific cues like sound or pressure. But this seemed way too synchronized and unnatural for many viewers. Some people are now speculating that it could be a glitch in the Matrix. Whether you're into supernatural, simulation theory, or just animal behavior, this video definitely raises questions. Let's hear from you. What do you think is happening here? We always say the sky is blue, but that doesn't mean rain has to be blue too, right?
So I live here in the Central Valley, and it was raining a couple minutes ago. Can anyone explain the blue water?
Well, recently a man from Central Valley, California shared a video that left people scratching their heads. After a rainy day, he went outside and noticed something strange in the two bowls he left out. The rainwater in them was blue, not light blue or cloudy, actual vivid blue. And according to him, the bowls were clean before the rain started. This sparked all kinds of theories. Some in the paranormal and conspiracy communities immediately suggested this could be evidence of chemical spraying. According to them, the government sprays certain chemicals into the atmosphere to kill our crops and to mind control us. Crazy, I know, but it's been something talked about in these circles for years now. Some also believe this is fake weather, commonly referred to as geoengineering or weather modification. The idea is that the rain is man-made, which could explain the changing color. Others think it might have something to do with the bowls themselves, maybe a residue, some chemical reaction, or even blue pollen or algae that mixed with the water and created the effect. In rare cases, even dust storms carrying strange minerals can tint rainwater. But this isn't the first time people have reported colored rain. In places like India and Sri Lanka, there have been reports of red, yellow, and even green rain, sometimes traced to airborne spores or pollution. So what do you think's happening here? Was it something natural, something chemical, or something no one wants to talk about?
Here in the Central Valley, and it was raining a couple minutes ago. Can anyone explain the blue water?
Imagine coming home late from work, exhausted, ready to unwind, only to feel like you're being watched.
Salí a tirar la basura y se escucha. ¿Qué quieres, hijo de puta? ¿Qué mierda es eso?
That's exactly what happened to one man. As he approached his home that night, something at the window caught his eye. A dark figure was leaning against the window frame, staring at him. The figure was too dark. It almost blended into the night. But when he looked closer, he saw what looked like a pale face peeking through the shadows. Without a sound, the figure slowly retreated into the house, and moments later, the window gently closed on its own. There's still no clear update on what the man saw that night. He was reportedly so terrified, he didn't return to the house for quite some time. As for the video, none have surfaced publicly, only this chilling account remains. Now, some people are quick to say it must have been a prank or a trespasser, especially how shadowy figures can play tricks on the eye in low light. But others believe this could have been something else entirely, perhaps a shadow entity, a spirit, or some interdimensional presence. Whatever it was, the man felt it wasn't human, and if you've ever felt a gaze that seemed to pierce through your soul, you might understand why he hasn't forgotten that moment since. What would you do if that figure showed up at your window?
¿Qué quieres, hijo de puta? ¿Qué mierda es eso? ¿Qué es eso?
While walking home one night through a shortcut in a remote wooded area, a man encountered something that has left the internet debating ever since. He spotted a huge creature standing roughly 8 feet tall right in the middle of the path ahead of him. It had long, light brown, almost albino hair hanging loosely around its body. The creature's back was turned and its head appeared bent down. Despite the fear and the shock, the man managed to quickly snap a photograph before he turned around and took the much longer way home. Now, some people are convinced this is a Bigfoot sighting, pointing to the creature's towering size and broad, bulky frame. A few have even floated the idea that this could be some kind of unknown forest entity, especially since the hair color and behavior don't match common wildlife. So what are we really looking at here? Someone recently shared a creepy piece of home security footage on Reddit, and it's been stirring up all kinds of conversation. Their motion alarm went off in the middle of the night, but when they checked around the house, no one was there. Curious and a little freaked out, they decided to check the footage, and what they saw was pretty strange. The camera was mounted at the corner of the front porch, giving a clear view of the walkway. At first, everything looked normal, then out of nowhere, this weird glowing object moved across the screen. Just seconds later, the alarm goes off, and right after that, a dark, shadowy figure slowly walks by the edge of the frame. The homeowners were completely baffled. They posted it online, hoping someone could explain it. But people are still debating. A few people think it could have been a ghost or some kind of shadow entity, especially since the alarm was triggered without any signs of a break-in. Others think it might have been a trespasser checking out the house. Some say the glowing thing might have been a bug crawling across the lens, and that can sometimes cause a distorted, out-of-focus look. But that doesn't explain the dark figure that came right after. Also, if it was just a bug, why did the alarm go off? It's just been questions, 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 with no definitive answer. Anyway, what do you think? This one's really special. It's not creepy or scary, just strangely beautiful. A woman named Teresa Bergen was heading home one day when she decided to snap a quick photograph of the sky. She'd just gotten off work and was driving back when her daughter called to warn her about an incoming storm. Wanting to reassure her daughter, Teresa quickly pulled out her iPhone 8 and took a picture of the sky just to let her know she was safe. She didn't think much about it at the time, just a simple picture on the road. But when she finally got home and showed it to her daughter, they both paused because the photo looked unreal. The sky in the image was layered and textured in a way that made it look like the surface of the ocean was rippling waves. It was eerie and calming at the same time, like a slice of another world captured on a regular evening. Teresa thought it was so unusual that she posted it online, and the internet exploded. People were mesmerized. Some couldn't believe it was real, while others just marveled at how nature could create such a surreal ocean-like sky. There was even debates, with some claiming it had to be AI-generated or heavily edited, but Teresa swears it was just a lucky moment captured by a phone camera. You've seen it, so what do you think?
Hello?
A cave explorer recently shared footage from a chilling encounter deep inside an unexplored cave system, and what happened has left viewers seriously unsettled. While making their way through the tight, winding tunnels, everything seemed normal at first. Then out of nowhere, a strange sound echoed from deeper within the cave. It wasn't an animal, and it wasn't the usual creaks or drips you'd expect underground. It sounded like someone wheezing, screeching, gasping like something in pain. The explorer never caught anything on camera, but in their own words, it wasn't just a lost animal or some weird echo. They described it as humanoid, but definitely not human. Something about the voice, the pitch of the screech, the rhythm of the breathing, it did not sound natural. Right before the footage cuts to black, the sound gets louder and more frantic, like whatever was down there was getting closer. Skeptics say it's fake, but others believe it might have been something far more sinister, maybe a cryptid or even an underground entity most people had never seen. If that's the case, however, why would it scare him and not show itself? Cowardice or self-preservation? Well, it's actually hard to say, but what would you have done? Would you have kept walking toward the sound to solve the mystery, or would you have just got out before it found you?
Hello?
So the clip playing on your screen right now is roughly years old. From 2012 to now is 13, right? So, 13, and is probably one of the most controversial clips or documentaries ever shown on Animal Planet. It's called Mermaids, the Body Found, and if you watched it back then or even now without knowing better, you'd swear it was real. It looks and sounds like a legit science doc, serious interviews, CGI that feels just plausible enough, sonar blips and government memos all cut together like something being leaked to the public. But here's the twist officially. It's a fake. The scientists are actors, the footage is staged, the evidence fabricated. It's a mockumentary, not a documentary. But here's the thing. Nobody really set that up front. When it first aired, there was no flashing disclaimers or obvious signs telling you this was fiction. And that's what made it hit so hard. People were convinced. Not just kids or conspiracy types either. Grown adults, curious minds, and even a few journalists fell down that rabbit hole. And when the bars got loud enough, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, had to step in and literally issue a statement saying, no, mermaids aren't real. So here's where it gets murky. If it was all fake, why did it feel so carefully built? Why lean so hard into real marine science and a real fringe theory like the aquatic ape hypothesis? Why craft a narrative that mirrors whistleblower leaks and cover-up tactics almost beat for beat? And why did Animal Planet wait until after the backlash to clarify that it was fiction? Maybe it was just entertainment, maybe it was a test in media literacy, or maybe, just maybe, someone wanted the truth out there in a way that could still be denied. Is it fake? Sure, probably, but ask yourself, if it weren't, how would you expect the government to handle it? This particular footage was allegedly captured by fishermen, and it kinda looks legit.
But don't take my word for it. What's your gut telling you?
Speaking of crazy, take a look at this clip. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary clip, right? Well, look again. Once the woman opens the door, you can see a human head move behind the obstacles in front of her. The funny thing is, she sees this too, and I'm shocked. She moves to take a good look, and all of a sudden, there's no one there. She's supposed to be there alone with a real estate agent who is showing her the property. In fact, she was the one recording because her husband couldn't attend the viewing and she wanted him to see the property as well. She reviewed the clip, and surely enough, the person or whatever it was in the clip. In real life, however, she didn't see anyone. She uploaded the clip online, sharing her spooky experience, and many told her she'd actually encountered a ghost. At first, it sounded funny, but the more she thought about it, the more she realized that a ghost was the only logical explanation. Well, you've seen the clip, so what do you think?
To that bathroom. And that goes.
Every day it seems like something new pops up that makes us question reality itself, and this video is no different. It starts with a girl out on a track just practicing her run, but then something really strange happens. Pay close attention to the background, especially the boy in the red jacket. As she continues her sprint, he suddenly appears, just materializes on the sideline out of nowhere. There's no visible lead-up, no one walking into the frame, no shadows or movement to suggest he was approaching. 1 second he's not there, and the next, he is. Now, skeptics might say this could be a fault in the video, like maybe it was paused or edited, but everyone else in the shot continues moving smoothly, completely unaffected. If the footage had been spliced or paused, we'd expect some visible jump or inconsistency, but there is none. So that leaves us with the strange question: did this boy glitch into reality? Some are saying it's a simple video bug, others claim it's yet another sign that we're living in a simulation. If reality is a program, then this might have just been a brief glitch in the code, but it could just be me being biased. What do you guys think? Still on strange captures, let's take a good look at this one too. This one appears to have been captured by the security system in an auditorium. The lady in the clip is Anna, and it's stated that she was investigating an old building with some friends. She particularly was in the auditorium while the rest of her gang checked the other rooms. It was all chill and quiet, but then she heard some footsteps. Thinking it was one of her colleagues, she turned around to see no one, but still felt a presence. This made her run out of the place, panicking. They later checked the cams and realized that there was something invisible, or rather small and barely visible, moving in the room with her. Not sure if you guys can see, but some believe this is a spiritual entity, while others think the whole thing is a hoax. You've seen the clip with your own eyes, so what say you?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
These days, a lot of people are starting to believe we might not be alone on this planet, and no, not just aliens from space. We're talking about reptilians, demons, and even beings from other dimensions, creatures that could be living amongst us, hiding in plain sight. Sounds crazy, right? But then stories like this one show up. It starts off normal. A man wakes up, goes about his morning, and casually looks out of the window. Just one of those mindless glances you take while sipping coffee or checking the weather. But what he sees, that changes everything. Something is walking down the sidewalk. At first, he thinks it's just a mist, maybe morning fog. But then he realizes there's a shape, a figure. It's see-through, almost like smoke, but it moves with purpose. It's coming from his neighbor's house, heading right towards his. Now here's where it gets really strange. The thing has a body and a clear outline, but the legs, well, they don't look human at all. They're bent in weird ways, almost like a lizard walking upright, and as it moves, it leaves behind this faint glowing trail like it's shedding light or energy with every step. Naturally, the clip ends up online and people are divided. Some say it's a demon. The glow, the shape, the way it moves, they swear it gives off something dark. Others are convinced it's one of the reptilians. You know, those shape-shifting beings people claim they've been here for ages, blending in with us. but no one really knows what it was. What everyone does agree on is this: it wasn't normal, it wasn't a regular person, and it sure didn't look like a ghost either. So what do you think it was? Demon? Reptilian? Or maybe something we don't even have a name for yet? Because it's stuff like this that's being caught on camera. Well, that makes you wonder what else is out there. Now, here's a strange one. This image was shared by someone who was just chilling by a riverside when they spotted something crawl out of the water. The creature doesn't look aggressive, but what really stood out was its golden-colored fur that shimmered across its back. The creature was turned away from the camera, so we never get a clear view of its face, which makes this even more mysterious. Some folks online were quick to say it looked like a sloth, and honestly, I can see it. Sloths may be slow on land, but surprisingly, they're actually great swimmers. But others weren't so sure. There were a few people who believed this could be some kind of cryptid, a rarely seen creature that lives in the water or along riversides, maybe something we haven't fully discovered or documented yet. The golden fur, the eerie stillness, and the fact that it just silently slipped out of the water. Well, what do you think it is? Next, we got what people are calling a real-life Godzilla, but this time it's not some sea monster, it's a horse. A massive, majestic, almost mythical-looking creature that's got the internet talking. Behold, the Godzilla of horses. Or as some folks online have nicknamed it, the Hoofed Hulk, White Thunder, and my personal favorite, the Equine Titan. This isn't just any horse, it's a towering snow-white beast with a build that looks like it was sculpted from stone. Its muscles are unreal, its presence absolutely commanding, and those hooves, they look like they could crack pavement. Not to mention it stands way taller than the average horse, almost like it's part horse, part ancient war god. The clip shows it calmly trotting through a field, but there's something about the way it moves. Slow, powerful, like it knows exactly how legendary it looks. No panic, no rush, just raw strength in motion. People are wondering what kind of breed it is. Some say it might be a special type of draft horse or even a genetically rare outlier, but honestly, it almost feels like this creature walked straight out of a fantasy novel. Whatever it is, it's not your everyday horse. So the real question is, would you ride into battle or run the other way? Because one thing's for sure, this isn't just a horse. This is a force of nature. All over the world, people have different beliefs and depictions of the strange and the supernatural, but sometimes a single piece of footage can stir up debate everywhere, and that's exactly what happened here. The footage comes from a security camera set up in a quiet town. What it captured is nothing short of chilling. Floating in the distance is a dark, shadowy mass, drifting eerily through the air. It doesn't have a defined shape, it's not smoke, it's not fog. It moves slowly and deliberately, and it looks disturbingly real. Nothing like the low-effort fakes you often see online. Now, the internet is doing what it always does, trying to figure it out. Some believe this is a sprite, perhaps wandering through the town for a reason no one understands, but others are offering a different explanation. They claim this could be a witch in a spirit form, said to be able to leave the body and travel as a dark mass, especially during certain hours of the night. Looking at it again, I can understand why they think that, but let's hear your thoughts on this one too. Imagine going down your favorite alley and running into this. What would you do? Looking at the footage, it's hard to say what kind of cryptid that could be, but according to the one who filmed and recorded it, it's a giant cat. Yeah, a giant cat. Take a good second look. Seen it now? Not sure if it's just an obese cat or one that's cryptid status. Some in the community already have theories of what kind of cryptid it is, whereas others feel it's just an ordinary cat. Can any of the cat enthusiasts help us out on this one? Next, we got another cam footage, and this time it's an alien that appears to have been captured. Looking at the info available on the video metadata, this was allegedly captured on the 29th of April 2022, so basically 3 years ago. The quality of the video is poor and it's also very short. While some are convinced this is the real deal with the grey alien, others find it laughable and state it's a poorly edited video. What do you think? In most places, seeing a baby left outside in freezing weather would stop people in their tracks. You'd probably think something was wrong. But in parts of Scandinavia like Iceland, Norway, and Finland, this is just part of everyday life. It's not unusual to walk past a coffee shop and see a row of baby strollers parked right outside. Inside, the parents are sitting back, sipping coffee, chatting with friends, all while their babies nap peacefully out in the cold. Sounds crazy, but not to them. Scandinavian parents have done this for generations. The belief is simple. Fresh, cold air is good for babies, and surprisingly, science backs that up. Studies have found that babies who nap outside tend to sleep longer and more deeply. Some research even suggests it can help lower the risks of getting sick, especially with things like colds or other respiratory infections. Of course, the babies are bundled up nice and warm and parents keep an eye on them from nearby, but the idea is that nature helps build strong, healthy kids and a little cold air doesn't hurt. So while it might seem strange if you're not used to it, in Scandinavia, it's just another part of raising happy, healthy little ones. People are always sharing strange footage from their homes, some of it so eerie that it feels like something straight out of a horror movie. And while a lot of these clips are dismissed as hoaxes or misunderstandings, every now and then something surfaces that's hard to ignore. Take this particular video for example. A woman posted a clip taken from her kitchen. She says she rushed in after hearing a series of loud banging sounds, only to catch something deeply unsettling on camera. Above the kitchen counter by the window, there was a pane and a ladle hanging on hooks, but what's strange is how they started swinging violently, banging against the wall. The way they moved did not seem random, and when you look out of the window, there's no sign of wind. That rules out any breeze. More curious still, the swinging was too forceful and chaotic to be shocked up to a small draft or vibration. Eventually, the pan falls off entirely, clattering to the ground. The footage looks clear and uncut, making it tough to write off as staged. There's no obvious string, shadow, or hand moving anything. And because of how it's filmed, it would have been difficult to edit convincingly. Sure, it's easy to be skeptical, plenty of people fake these things for views, but sometimes, well, the footage just feels too precise to dismiss. So what do you think? Was this a poltergeist making itself known, or is there another explanation hiding in plain sight? Have you ever had the eerie feeling like you're being watched even though no one seems to be around? It's that chill down your spine, the hairs on your neck standing up, your instincts screaming something's not right. That's exactly what happened to a hiker out on a trail in the mountains. He was alone, enjoying the quiet when he suddenly felt a heavy, unshakable sense that he wasn't alone. It wasn't just paranoia, it was like something was staring directly at him. So he pulled out his phone and started recording the woods ahead, hoping to catch sight of a bear, a person, anything to explain what he was feeling. That's when he saw it. Standing among the trees was a huge humanoid figure. It was far off, partially obscured by the branches, but clearly there. Its limbs were long and gangly and its head slightly tilted, almost like it was examining him. Even though the camera was not clear, you could tell it was looking straight at him. He didn't wait to find out more. The moment he spotted it, he turned and got out of there. Now, some online think it might have been a person in a suit or just a trick of the light, but others, especially those who zoomed in, believe it was something far more strange. Maybe a cryptid like a skinwalker, or even something not from this world. Whatever it was, that feeling he had, it wasn't wrong. Have you ever experienced anything like that out in the wild?
Are you able to see it on the picture?
Yes, look.
My God, that's crazy.
Next, let's take a look at this case from Scotland in 2018, for example. This mummified body looks eerily like a unicorn. Yeah, you heard that right. A horse-like figure with a single horn protruding from his forehead. The remains caused quite a stir with images circulating online. At first glance, it looks like someone had stumbled upon a real-life mythical beast, but as more details came out, some people suggested it might be a hoax. Others weren't so quick to dismiss it, pointing to how well preserved the creature was and questioned how someone could go to such lengths without it being for a known project or exhibit. Whether it was a deliberate fake, a mutated animal, or something else entirely, the truth remains unclear.
But what if some myths aren't myths at all, but distant memories of creatures we haven't fully rediscovered yet?
What is that?
Is it? Dude, no! It looks like a person, man. But no person. It looks like a person. Stop.
A woman went for a walk through the woods one gloomy evening. Nothing unusual, just some quiet time in nature. But as she ventured deeper into the forest, that peaceful vibe quickly turned into something much more disturbing. That's when she saw it. A massive, shadowy figure was standing ahead of her, and the first thing that caught her eye was its glowing eyes, staring directly at her from the darkness. Then, to make things worse, the thing suddenly dropped down on all fours and started creeping toward her in a slow, threatening motion. She started to panic. The forest was dim, and the footage is hard to make out, but you can still hear her breathing pick up. You can also hear her say it looks like a person. And that's the part that has everyone online split. Some viewers claim it's just a bear, others can't shake the strange way it moves. But why would she think it looked human if it was really a bear? That kind of gut reaction says something, doesn't it? Some believe it could be a skinwalker or some forest entity mimicking a person, as tales from the deep woods often warn about. Others wonder if it's some kind of humanoid cryptid that's yet to be identified. Whatever it was, she did not stick around to find out. So the question remains, what did she really see out there? Would you have stayed to look closer?
No! Looks like a person, man. But no person. Looks like a person. Stop.
Someone shared this video they'd taken while flying over the city, and what they captured raised eyebrows. There was this massive, mist-like cloud just sitting there below the sky, hovering unusually close to the tops of buildings, and it didn't behave like a normal cloud. This has led many viewers to speculate that this is a cloaked UFO. Some believe that what we are seeing isn't a weather anomaly at all, but possibly a craft using cloud camouflage. Skeptics suggest it's just a low-lying fog bank or some kind of industrial exhaust behaving oddly due to wind patterns, but even then, the way it sits perfectly still and doesn't drift or disperse like fog usually would is odd. So what do you think? Is this just weird weather or something far more advanced hiding in plain sight? There's a new tech in town that has people raising eyebrows and possibly worrying about the future of real human connection. It's called the Cluely, and some are already calling it a social killer. In the video we are looking at, the Cluely is being demoed by a guy on a date, but he's not leading the conversation. The device is doing most of the work. It listens, gathers information about the girl he's talking to, tracks the conversation, and even tells him what to say next. It's like a real-time AI wingman or teleprompter for your social life. Sure, it sounds helpful. No more awkward silences or scrambling for something clever to say, but it raises some serious questions. If your words aren't your own, is the connection even real, and what happens if everyone starts using it? Do we stop learning how to be human with each other? It might be convenient, but is it authentic?
So, how old did you say you were?
I'm 30 years old.
Your profile says you worked at Bananazon?
Yeah, I've been there for the past 8 years doing, like senior software engineering, so, like coding.
Really?
Look, I know I look a little young for my age, but I promise you, I'm 30 years old.
Okay, well, maybe you are just way older than you look.
Not everyone believes in the supernatural. Some say ghosts or entities aren't real, just figments of our imagination. But if you're familiar with this channel, then you already know that's not the case. This next clip is chilling. A mother had set up a monitor in her toddler's room while she was busy with chores around the house. Everything seemed fine until she suddenly heard a baby crying. She rushed in to comfort her little one, but what she saw on the monitor after that, well, that's left her speechless. In the footage, the child is sleeping peacefully when suddenly this happens. An unseen force appears to grab and pull the baby's leg upward, lifting it off the bed. The baby immediately wakes up crying and frightened. Let's rewind that for a second look. There, it's clear as day. The baby's leg is pulled, and yet there's no one there. No adult, no sibling, not even a visible shadow, just the baby and whatever that invisible force was. Skeptics say maybe the baby moved weirdly in their sleep, but this doesn't look like tossing and turning. It looks intentional, as if something deliberately tried to wake or grab the child. So what do you think? This next piece of footage was shared by a bar, and it's got people talking. One of the bartenders was cleaning up after a long shift. The place was quiet, empty, until something weird happened. As he's wiping down the counter, one of the drawers behind him suddenly flies open aggressively. No one's near it, and you can see by his reaction he's clearly spooked. He closes the drawer cautiously, trying to shake it off, but then the lights above his head start swinging as if something unseen is moving through space. That's when things get even stranger. He pauses, seeming to feel something like an energy shift, and just then a set of cups falls right off the counter by themselves. Freaked out, the bartender calls someone to come over, but even while he's on the phone, more disturbances happen. Items start falling, more movement, like something unseen is getting agitated, and that's where the footage ends. Now, some skeptics online are calling it fake. They say the bartender's reactions look too rehearsed, and honestly, it's fair to question that. After all, we've seen our share of hoaxes before. But what if this wasn't staged? Well, then what was it? I've always said it, mirrors are more than just glass. They're spiritual gateways in many cultures, often believed to reflect not just our image, but other realms entirely. This next story comes from a man who was spending the night alone. His roommate was away, and everything seemed normal until the early hours when he was jolted awake by a strange feeling and an even stranger sound. Startled, he grabbed his phone and turned on the front camera with the flash, looking around to see what might be causing the disturbance. And the first place was the mirror directly across from him, and that's when it got creepy. In the mirror, there was a figure, a woman, maybe with long dark hair and a pale, distorted face, standing completely still. And when he turned the camera toward the room itself, nothing. No one was there. He pans back and forth a few times, clearly unnerved, and just before he bolts out of the room, if you pause the video, it actually looks like the figure is right behind him, reflected clearly in the mirror, even though she's not visibly anywhere else. Now, I'll be honest, something about this feels a little off. The way the figure moves, there's a possibility that this could be edited footage. But why is it always the mirror? Is it just a trick of the eye, or is there something truly about reflections that lets us glimpse into things that we're not meant to see? At first glance, you'd think this was just a painting, some kind of surreal art piece hung carefully on a gallery wall. But it's not. This image was taken by a woman who noticed something unusual on a fogged-up window one chilly morning. And when you look at it, it's unsettling. Because what showed up on the window wasn't just a smudge or random streak. It was a full, detailed face. A man, eyes closed, with a defined nose, lips, and even a beard. The features are so clear it looks like someone pressed their face to the glass, but this wasn't a case of someone doing that. She lives alone. That's where it gets strange. Some might say it's just condensation forming a coincidental pattern, the way we sometimes see faces in clouds or tree bark, but let's be honest, this isn't vague or abstract. It's eerily precise, almost too perfect to be random. So what made that face appear? Could it be a spiritual imprint, like a residual energy from someone who's passed, or something even older tied to the history of the house? What do you see when you look at it? Here we have one of those classic orb in the sky encounters, but this one's got some extra twists. It was shared anonymously, but the footage clearly shows a very distinct orange glowing orb hovering in the sky. Not only that, but a second object, believed to be a craft of some sort, was following closely behind it. The craft was blinking lights in sequence, seemingly in pursuit of the orb, and that's where it gets weird. Some viewers believe the orb could be an interdimensional being, not just a simple UFO. The reason? Well, it's surrounded by a kind of luminous glow, almost like it's not fully in our reality, like it's phasing through or radiating energy we don't understand. Others have a different theory, saying the craft chasing it is a human-operated vehicle, maybe a government or military craft, trying to intercept or study this mysterious orb. That would mean someone knew the orb was there or had been tracking it for some time. So is this orb something alien, interdimensional, or something else entirely? Some cave explorers shared this squeamish footage, and if you've got arachnophobia, well, consider this your warning. While exploring deep into a cave, they noticed these odd spider-like creatures crawling all over the place. And here's the thing, they weren't actual spiders, they're called camel crickets. Camel crickets are strange alien-looking insects with long legs, humpback bodies, and powerful jumping abilities. They don't spin webs or bite, but they can leap several feet if startled, especially in the confined space of a dark cave. These creepy crawlers thrive in moist, dark environments, which is why they love caves and sometimes even to sneak into damp basements. In large numbers, like in the footage, they look nightmarish. To the untrained eye, it's easy to mistake them for spiders, but they belong to the Orthopoda family, the same as grasshoppers and crickets, so not venomous but unsettling to witness in swarms. Now, what we're looking at here, it's just bizarre. A man shared this clip on TikTok after buying what he thought were just your average fried chicken from a local shack. But the second he looked closer, things got weird. Really weird. This chicken didn't look normal at all. The skin was tight and shiny, almost glossed over, and the shape of its face area was all wrong. It almost had a little snout, wide eyes, and an expression that just didn't scream chicken, more like something trying to look like a chicken. Some people in the comments are trying to say it looks more like an alien creature than poultry. The guy who posted it looked genuinely freaked out, and let's be honest, would you take a bite out of that? Others are brushing it off, saying it's just a badly butchered bird or maybe a mutated farm animal, but conspiracy lovers are asking if this wasn't a chicken at all. Could it be something else passed off as food?
I'm clucked if I'm eating that.
Do you enjoy monster drinks? Well, you might think twice after seeing this experiment. Someone took a full can of Monster, poured it into a cooking pan, and set it on the stove. As it started to boil, something surprising happened. The liquid began to reduce, turning into a dark, thick syrup. Guess what that thick substance is? It's sugar. A staggering amount of sugar. It's shocking to see just how much sugar is packed into one of these energy drinks. What seems like a harmless, energizing beverage is actually loaded with sugar that could have some serious health implications if consumed regularly. Next time you reach for a Monster, you might want to think about what's actually inside the can. How do you feel about shapeshifters? You know what? Don't answer yet. Our next clip is one that's been circulating and stirring up intrigue and speculation. The footage taken from a security camera outside a roadside restaurant reveals an astonishing sight. It begins innocuously enough. A stray dog is seen wandering near the restaurant under the cover of night. But then something inexplicable occurs. Slowly, the dog begins to change, its form shifting in a way that defies logic. The transformation is subtle at first, almost imperceptible, but within moments, the dog has completely morphed into a human figure. Just as swiftly, the person steps out of view, leaving behind more question than answers. Those who witnessed the event firsthand whisper about the possibilities. Some speak of witchcraft, others of a supernatural force at play. What truly happened that night remains a mystery, fueling a sense of unease and wonder. If you were to ask us, naturally we're divided between Julius's opinion that this is nothing more than a clip that's been digitally manipulated, and Aaron's opinion that this has to be one of the few authentic shape-shifting clips out there. Well, you've seen it. What do you think? While flying, a pilot captured this video of an unusual flying object. The object had a saucer-like shape and was rotating while moving in the sky. What made it even more intriguing was the inscription on it, Truff. At first, the pilot thought it said Trump, but upon closer inspection, it was clear that it was Truff. Curiosity piqued, the pilot decided to research the word truff and found out that it was a branch of hot sauce. The connection between hot sauce and UFOs may seem absurd, but it could be that extraterrestrial beings like spicy food. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but think about it. What's not to love about hot sauce? Alternatively, it could be an entirely different explanation altogether. I mean, what are the odds that aliens speak and write English? Perhaps it's some markings in their language that we interpreted as ours. It's also possible that the video was a well-made CGI, although it's hard to be sure without further investigation. Regardless of the explanation, this sighting has left the pilot and the wider community wondering about the mysteries of the universe and the possibility of life beyond our planet. If you followed our channel judiciously in the last week or so, then you would be familiar with our recent discussions on extraterrestrial life and the possibility of their existence. While many are quick to dismiss the idea, the vastness of the universe and all that's within it makes it possible for life to exist elsewhere other than ours. I recently came across this footage captured in China on April the 9th, 2024, which I found quite intriguing. In the clip, there is a peculiar circular shape in the sky with luminous edges. The object appears to be hovering in the air like a disk. While it's true that some clouds, such as lenticular clouds, can look unique, this particular one seems to be more than just a cloud formation. It has a distinct shape that looks eerily similar to a UFO. There are a number of individuals in the comments section who noticed this as well and were convinced we're dealing with a UFO whose camouflage was not working properly. Looking at it, I can see why they think that. Not only does it have an unconventional shape, it's also ginormous. This makes it fit into our whole alien spaceship category. While many were convinced we were looking at a ship, there was another group of individuals who were very convinced that this had to be a portal. While the portal hypothesis isn't impossible, the individual who posted the footage never saw anything come out of or go inside. The skies have been home to many unusual incidents over the years, and it's not uncommon for people to speculate about what they see. However, with more and more sightings being documented, it's clear that there's something strange happening up there. Wouldn't you agree? Next, we've got this clip from a man who was out in the woods during sundown when he started hearing strange noises coming from around him. The area was mostly open, with just a few trees scattered far off in the distance. As he looked toward one of the trees, he noticed something terrifying. A creature with glowing eyes perched on one of the branches. The creature was crouched sideways on the trunk of the tree, almost like it was clinging to the bark. Its appearance was disturbingly human-like, but something about it was off, something unnatural. The man, gripped by fear, quickly fled the scene, not wanting to stick around to find out what it was. When he later posted the footage online, it sparked a flurry of reactions. Many people speculated that this could be the legendary Rake, a creature known for its eerie, humanoid appearance and glowing eyes. Some also suspected it might be a skinwalker. Not everyone's buying what he's selling though. Some think it's all made up, while others think he's just trying to scare those who live near him. You've seen the clip, so what do you think? This footage was taken by a man who ventured out one night after a snowstorm. As he walked by an old abandoned graveyard, he noticed a statue in the distance. Even though he was several meters away, something about the statue caught his attention. Pay attention to the clip. He claims that the statue's hands moved. Now, I don't know about you, but when I watched this, I didn't immediately notice anything. But he was adamant that there was movement, and it's one of those things that makes you wonder if your eyes are playing tricks on you, or if there's something more to it. What do you think? Did the statue move, or is this just a case of imagination running wild? Talk about a real-life plot twist. Here's the lowdown on an unexpected scene. A woman lying unconscious on the ground, catching the attention of a concerned passerby. He quickly rushed to check up on her, but as he got closer, he noticed that she lay on the ground unconscious. She didn't even look like she was breathing. The concerned man yelled out to her until she woke up all of a sudden.
What? Hey, baby, you okay? Hey, what the? Hey, Mama, you need to call. Mama, call. You all right? You good?
You okay?
You straight? Huh?
She said she was okay and looked pretty confused. Now, spectators suggest that it might be a glitch in the Matrix, but hold on to your conspiracy theories. It turns out there's a more grounded explanation. Our damsel in distress had a seizure and took an unexpected tumble from her bicycle. We really hope that she's okay now. Turns out everything is a glitch in the Matrix. Who knew? In this next footage taken in the UK, someone noticed this strange craft in the night sky. The lights on the craft showed the triangular shape of the craft as it soared through the sky. Naturally, this strange craft has led to many speculations on what we could be dealing with. As people guess and wonder, different opinions come out of the shadows. Some say the craft is from outer space, calling it a UFO. On the other hand, doubters suggest a different story. They think the mysterious vehicle might be something human-made, using otherworldly technology. Both theories seem almost true, but which do you think it is? Something unknown or a result of human innovation? Julius shared this fascinating footage with me, and at first, I found it a bit perplexing. The video shows two distinct lights hovering above the sea, with one seemingly positioned on the water's surface and the other in the sky. As it was sundown, it was challenging to determine what we were precisely looking at. The light in the sky resembled a helicopter, and Julius mentioned that the one on the water's surface could be a speedboat. The lights appeared to be moving in a synchronized manner, and there seemed to be some distance between them. The video quality made it difficult to make clear distinctions, but the sight was definitely intriguing. I'm curious to see everyone's thoughts on what this mysterious sighting could be. Cemeteries have some of the weirdest vibes. They're places where the dead are laid to rest, so it's no surprise that stories of ghost sightings are often hard to ignore. I came across footage from a man who was driving by a cemetery when he noticed something strange and decided to film it. In the distance, there was a bright white light moving across the cemetery grounds, but this wasn't just any light. It almost resembled a humanoid figure, silently gliding through the gravestones as if it was minding its own business. The eerie glow and the way it moved caught the man's attention immediately. He couldn't believe what he was seeing, so he continued to film, hoping to capture more. The figure seemed almost ethereal, too divine to be an illusion, yet too mysterious to be easily explained. Did this man just capture a ghost on camera, or could it be something else entirely? Kindly share your thoughts. One night during a storm, a man took out his camera just in time to capture the electrifying moment when lightning strikes. As the darkness of the night was lit up by the strike, we noticed something. There was a strange humanoid creature. It looked much bigger than a human, but the weirdest part of the situation was that the lightning had hit the said creature and the creature burned into ashes and vanished. This might seem like something strange out of a supernatural thriller, but take a good look at the footage again. Did you see that? Some folks are sold on the idea that it's a bona fide demon getting zapped by the forces of nature, while others are throwing around theories of optical illusions or camera glitches. What's your take on it? Is it a stormy encounter with the supernatural or just a quirky play of light and shadows? Share your thoughts in the comments section. This next footage is something to consider as a conspiracy.
What the absolute fuck is it?
While on patrol, a police officer stopped by the woods when he heard this strange sound coming from within. The sound was indescribable and unlike any sound of a creature, but the depth of the sound indicated that whatever or whoever was making the sound must be pretty big. The policeman is convinced that the vocalizations are coming from a Bigfoot, and it's not so surprising. Bigfoot has been a talk in the paranormal community for years, and sounds like this have often been attributed to this enigmatic creature. So could it be the hairy, humanoid giant of the wilderness making those spine-tingling sounds, or is it just another puzzle in the grand tapestry of the unknown? This footage comes with little context, but what it captures is definitely strange. A passenger in a car was filming the mountains while driving when she caught something unusual on camera. In the sky, a flying disc suddenly zips across the flame at an incredible speed. It happens so quickly that if you blink, you might miss it. But when you slow it down, you can clearly see the object moving across the sky. The disc's movement is smooth and deliberate, leaving little doubt that it's something more than just a trick of the light or a bird in flight. Its shape and speed make it look very much like the classic UFOs reported over the decades. What could this be? A secret military craft? A genuine UFO? This video was captured in England and shows something truly remarkable. A resident noticed these bright lights in the distance around 3:30 a.m. As she watched, she realized the lights were coming from a rather large object hovering in the sky. The object was massive and the lights were so bright that they lit up the area around it. The resident couldn't shake the feeling that what she was seeing wasn't ordinary. She believed that this might be some sort of mothership, possibly a large UFO. But what are your thoughts? Is it an advanced aircraft, or could it really be something out of this world? Anyone who's subscribed to this channel knows we love our big guy. In fact, there are lots of clips on this channel featuring the big guy. There are some that were very convincing, and some we flat out thought had to be false. We thought we'd seen it all until this clip was sent to us.
Oh my gosh, please tell me you're kidding this. Are you kidding this? Yeah, I'm videotaping it. Oh my gosh, this is insane.
Yes, that's a relatively short clip by our Bigfoot standards, but did you guys notice something? The big guy was not walking or moving slowly and steadily like we're used to. Even the calculated walk was not seen. The big guy appears to be somewhat leaping, and that's a first for us. In fact, we weren't the only ones who thought so. We did some digging around, and it turns out that this was filmed in 2015. The reason it looks blurry is because it has been zoomed in several times over and brightened to reveal the Bigfoot, which was quite a distance from the one who took the clip. Apparently, there was a lot of skepticism on the legitimacy of the clip once it hit the internet, since many people believe Bigfoots don't move that fast. They even nicknamed the creature the Leaping Yeti. Although they didn't think it was a Bigfoot, they agreed that the creature was real. Even though it's not been seen since, it remains one of the most intriguing clips among the Russian paranormal and cryptid community. While we're used to a certain definition of Bigfoot, do you think it's possible that there's a creature out there the size of Bigfoot that moves like that? We can't confirm or dismiss it without further evidence, but you can at least share your thoughts, and we'll be glad to hear them.
What is that? Oh my gosh, please tell me you're kidding this. Are you kidding this? Yeah, I'm videotaping it. Oh my gosh, this is insane.
이 설왕설래를 낳고 있던데 수많은 목격담도 이어지고 있고 말이죠. 자, 그런데 오늘은
Next, we have this footage from Korea that was captured on the 8th of April 2024. This was during the eclipse that was not readily visible from Seoul, Korea. In this footage, a mysterious object zooms across the sky, leaving viewers astonished. The video, captured by a golfer, shows a dark, unidentified object appearing suddenly and then disappearing as quickly as it did. The object's remarkable speed and agility surpass typical aircraft or drones, which is very curious. The footage caught the attention of the news, which dubbed it a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Despite attempts to analyze and enhance the footage, the object remains elusive, appearing as a blur due to its rapid movement. Some have naturally assumed it's a spacecraft taking advantage of the eclipse, while others think it might be something else entirely. Regardless, no one truly knows what's happening, and with no concrete evidence or definitive explanations, the true nature of this UAP remains unknown. We have reason to, however, believe that that's not the first time whatever it was has zoomed through the atmosphere. This clip that has got everybody talking, take a look. At first glance, I see an animal character with a walking stick and possibly some clothes on. But that can't be right. I mean, it's not uncommon to see such things in a cartoon, but real life, there has to be something really wrong and off. That's at least most individuals, including myself, felt about that. But after searching online, I came across different perspectives. Take a look at this one. When you read his comment and take a look at the image again, it does make sense that we could be looking at a dog or coyote with a bushy tail dropped down. And if that's the case, it makes sense that the angle at which he shot it could give us the image we see on screen. What do you think?
Mysterious black ring appeared in the sky in Hampton Roads on Tuesday. Several Wavy TV 10 viewers reached out to the station with images and video of the ominous-looking ring floating in the sky. The messages started coming in shortly after 11 a.m. on Tuesday.
Recently in the USA, an unusual sighting sparked a bit of curiosity. A mysterious black ring was spotted in the sky over Hampton Road, and it wasn't just seen there. People across various places in the country reported seeing it too. The paranormal community quickly jumped on this, with many speculating that it could be a portal or something alien-related. The sight of such a perfectly shaped ring floating in the sky naturally set imaginations on fire. However, the skeptics weren't convinced. They suggested it looked like a smoke ring, which led to questions about whether there had been any explosion or fires in the area. But when authorities were contacted, they reported that there had been no such incidents. So what exactly are we looking at here? Could it be some unexplained phenomenon? What do you think?
Several Wavy TV 10 viewers reached out to the station with images and video of the ominous-looking ring floating in the sky.
This clip comes from Sequoia Park, California. It shows another strange sky phenomenon.
Is it a cross? Heck no, it's not a cross. What is that? Like a... Whoa. Let me see it. Dude, it looks like a dude in a suit. It looks like Iron Man.
At first glance, it appears to be some kind of glowing figure floating in the air. The entity seems to have a head, arms, and legs, and it's surrounded by a distinct and noticeable glow. The people behind the camera who filmed the video were convinced that they'd witnessed a superhuman or an alien. However, when the video was posted online, some commenters suggested that it might be a hologram, and the term blue beam projection was mentioned once again. It's difficult to determine what exactly is happening in the video and whether it's real or a hoax. The possibility of a hologram or a government conspiracy cannot be ruled out, but as always, there's little evidence to suggest that's the case. The only thing we can do now is speculate and hypothesize on what this might be. You have seen the clip. What's your hypothesis?
What the heck? Jonathan, what in the world? Probably the super...
Look behind you. Insane. Whoa, did you see that just shoot across? Did anyone else see that?
This next clip is proof of that. I mean, how much of a coincidence can it really be when a similar phenomenon was experienced in another part of the world not too long after it had been seen in Korea? A man was filming the stunning coastal scenery when he witnessed the extraordinary event. Unlike Korea, however, there appeared to be lightning in the sky. While many were distracted by it, a bright object suddenly appeared and streaked across the sky with immense speed almost without being seen. If the man behind the camera was not filming, it may have been missed. It's not clear why this was bright and the Korean one was dark. To add to the mystery, the exact location of the sighting is not known. Comments flooded in on the post from intrigued viewers with their theories about the object. Some suggested it could be the Air Force, but upon closer inspection, it didn't seem to be a human-made object. I mean, there was not much to inspect, but when did we started traveling at light speeds with ships made up of light? Exactly. Another theory was that it was a missile, but missiles tend to have a visible trail of fire behind them, whereas this object was all bright like a luminous entity or something else entirely. Also, I don't think missiles affect the atmosphere like this one did. The possibilities of what this object could be are endless. Many still hold on to the fact that it could be something of extraterrestrial origin, while others think, that's just loony. They don't see anything beyond a weather phenomenon here. But what about you? What do you see? When I saw this next footage, I was so shocked. Take a look.
Move!
A man found himself stranded on a deserted road in the middle of nowhere. And the reason? There was a pool of water in the middle of the road. Now, this isn't just any ordinary puddle, because what happens next is beyond belief. He decided to throw a bottle into the water, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, a massive crocodile surfaced, wiggling about in the water. A large one at that. The fact that such a massive creature could be lurking in what seemed like just a harmless puddle is truly terrifying. Makes you think twice about crossing any mysterious bodies of water, doesn't it? What would you do if you found yourself in this situation?
Move!
We all know how shadows work. When an object blocks light, it casts its form onto a surface. We all have shadows, right?
Someone explain to me what the fuck this is a shadow of.
Well, a man was out one night when he noticed something strange on the ground. There was a shadow of a long pole, clear as day. But when he looked around, there was nothing that could be casting it. The only pole nearby was several meters away, and it wasn't even close to matching the length or position of the mysterious shadow. So what's happening here? Could this be some sort of glitch in reality, or is there another explanation?
What the fuck this is a shadow of. There's nothing above me.
Just before you start wondering what we're looking at here, you should know that the helicopter is carrying an object called the Electromagnetic Surveying System. They're used for geophysical exploration and are employed in various industries, including mineral exploration to map subsurface geological features by measuring electromagnetic responses. While these systems are primarily used for geological purposes, there have been instances where unconventional interpretations of electromagnetic anomalies have led to speculative theories, including the suggestions of extraterrestrial activity like finding UFOs. So what's this one doing out there? Looking for an alien craft? Oh my goodness, take a look at this. While on a boat ride in the ocean, this person was met by a huge shark. The killer fish swam onto the boat and circled back, swimming around the boat. Luckily, the person on the boat was very still and didn't catch the attention of the creature, but from the noise the person was making, you can tell that he was freaked out. Contrary to the initial fear of a great white shark, it turns out to be a basking shark, a relief for anyone fearing a more dangerous encounter. Basking sharks are known for their immense size, often mistaken for more aggressive species due to their appearance. But they're filter feeders, mainly eating plankton and small fish by swimming with their mouths wide open. In moments like these, the thin line between awe and fear is palpable. The ocean, with its mysteries and wonders, can evoke a mix of emotions. Have you ever had a close encounter with marine life? And if so, how did it leave you feeling? Tell us in the comment section. The brain is a very tricky organ, capable of amazing feats and strange deceptions. It's crucial to our existence, but it can sometimes lead us down a path of illusions. Check out this mind-boggling experiment.
Poder da mente. You're gonna make these people believe that this fake rubber prop is actually their real arm.
Seems unlikely.
This is a Fibonacci silk, but let me show you how it works. If I drape it like this, simultaneously.
In the video, a man uses a fake hand to trick people into thinking it's their real hand. Did you see that? It's absolutely wild. The participants know it's a fake hand. They can clearly see their own arm on the table with the fake hand placed beside it, separated by a board. Yet somehow their brain starts to perceive the fake hand as their own. What's really crazy is that they began to feel sensations from the fake hand. Even when a needle is stuck into it, they react as if they're experiencing the pain, despite their actual hand being untouched. This experiment shows just how easily our brains can be fooled.
Poder da mente. Starts to connect the fake arm sensations and make them real. Do you feel this?
Yes.
And that?
Yes.
Someone went into the woods to cut down a tree, but what happened next was truly bizarre. As soon as the first cut was made, there was a sudden gush of air rushing out of the tree. You can clearly hear the sound of the air flowing out, almost like the tree was exhaling. It's such a strange phenomenon, something you don't see every day, or ever for that matter. Trees aren't supposed to do that, right? So what could be causing it? Well, I did some research, and this is what I discovered. When air or gas rushes out of a tree after it's cut, it's usually due to the phenomenon called embolism, or the release of trapped air or gas pockets within the tree. Trees transport water and nutrients throughout a network of vessels called xylem. In certain conditions, such as during extreme drought, air can enter these vessels, forming air bubbles. These bubbles can be under pressure, especially if the tree has been stressed by lack of water or if there is a specific environmental factor at play. When the tree is cut, these pressurized air pockets are suddenly exposed to the outside environment, causing the air to rush out, which can create the sound you heard. It's almost as if the tree is exhaling because of the release of this trapped air. While it's not common, this phenomenon does happen, and it's usually tied to the tree's internal water and nutrient transport system. So while it might seem eerie or unexplainable, it actually has a scientific basis. What do you think, though? You know in cartoons how snowflakes look, beautiful patterns falling from the sky? A 60-year-old man recently had a delightful surprise during a snowfall. Accustomed to the usual snow dust, he found himself witnessing the intricate beauty of snowflakes for the first time, delicately falling from the sky.
Not that I'm a real snow aficionado, but I've never seen that.
Snowflakes are famous for their unique and captivating shapes, often looking like beautiful hexagonal crystals. Each flake has its special design, creating a collective display that's a breathtaking spectacle. Even though we've seen snowflakes in pictures, witnessing their real beauty in person can be a truly magical moment. At an unknown location, this footage was taken. Tiny lights are moving from the earth toward the heavens. I have never seen anything like it. It's a mesmerizing scene. For us humans, our minds are always ready to make sense of things they don't understand, which has led to many theories about this mysterious show. Some suggest that these bright trails mean that souls are leaving Earth, going through a meaningful and spiritual change. Others, influenced by Christian beliefs, consider the idea of the rapture, a moment when good souls rise to heaven. On the other hand, some people hold a different idea, suggesting that these lights could be spaceships leaving Earth, maybe because something bad is about to happen. And the list goes on and on. All these theories about what this could be are very disturbing, but we can't tell which is closer to the truth or not. What do you guys think? If you have other suggestions, let us know in the comments section below. There are countless conspiracies about UFOs using cloaking devices to blend in with our clouds. Well, take a look at this footage by an unsuspecting man.
Oh yeah, look at this. This is cool. There's the spaceship, you see it? It's right there. Yes, it is. I guarantee it, Veronica. Look at it. No, that's what me. Look at it.
In the sky, there was a craft that seemed almost invisible, perfectly blending in with the clouds. It was triangular in shape, nearly undetectable, until it started moving. As it shifted, you could see lights beneath it, revealing the craft's presence. This particular craft is believed to be the TR-3B, a highly secretive and rumored vehicle. But what's even more shocking than the footage itself was the reaction in the comments section. Many viewers suggested that this craft isn't extraterrestrial at all, but rather advanced human-made technology that is being kept hidden from the public. Others speculated that it was created using both human and alien technology. So could this mean that the UFOs we see might actually be the result of human engineering, or at least involving some level of human involvement? If so, what else is being kept from us?
I guarantee it, Veronica. Look at it. No, that's what me. Look at it.
The rate at which skinwalker sightings are becoming more common is truly alarming. Unless, of course, you're a skinwalker enthusiast and are looking to see one for yourself.
What the?
In this footage, a man was driving down a secluded path through the woods when something shocking happened. The woods on the side of the road were on higher ground, and suddenly a figure, what looked like a man, came rolling down the slope and fell right in front of the car. But what happened next is almost beyond belief. As the figure stood up, it wasn't a man anymore. It had transformed into an animal, specifically a deer. The man had somehow turned into a deer right before the driver's eyes, and then the deer bolted off into the nearby woods. What in the world just happened?
What the?
Humans are really getting creative lately, especially with designer pet breeds. This little guy here, called a Frudel, is a mix of a French bulldog and a poodle. It's cute, but it's part of a much bigger trend of hybrid breeds popping up everywhere. These breeds are often a mix of two popular purebreds, blending traits from each. In this case, the Frudel gets the playfulness and loyalty of a French bulldog with the intelligence and low shedding cost of a poodle. The idea is to create pets that combine the best of both worlds in terms of personality, appearance, and even hypoallergenic qualities. But as adorable as they are, the mixture is not beneficial for the animals. Sometimes hybrid breeds can inherit health issues from both parent breeds, which can complicate their care. A man was exploring some remote mountain areas on Google Earth when he stumbled upon something shocking. Tucked behind a large rock formation was a figure. It was the head and shoulders of what looked like an ape-like humanoid. The creature had dark fur, and its profile revealed a jawline and facial structure that seemed almost human but distinctly different, with an ape-like nose, wrinkles, and thick fur covering most of its visible body. It looked more human than an ape in its posture, but unmistakably wild and mysterious in its features. So what exactly is this? Could this be a glimpse of Bigfoot, or maybe even a new species similar to it? What do you think your response would be if aliens were to climb onto your roof? Well, the individual in the next clip I'm about to show you thought standing still and recording was the best decision. Take a look. The individual recording believes that aliens made their way to his property. For some funny reason, they chose to move around on the roof of this structure. We don't get to see a face, but the body structure and movement are far from natural, which is the reason for him stating that this has got to be an alien. I was sold on this, well, not completely, just a little, until I saw his comment under the original post. This has me thinking we could be looking at a human pretending to be an alien, and that this was probably an attempt to go viral. What do you think? Locals in a remote area were out one night when they came across something that left them completely stunned.
Olha, tá vendo aí, Drayton? Tem gente que não acredita não numa porra dessa, olha. E tá se mexendo, olha. Misericórdia. Como é que pode uma porra dessa?
It was a floating ball of fire hovering eerily above the ground. None of them could explain how it got there or where it had come from. The orbs of flames just there, suspended in the air, flickering ominously as if it had a mind of its own. The sight of it was mesmerizing, yet terrifying. They were all too frightened to get any closer to it. The way it floated was very haunting, but what could this be or mean? Some of the locals say it might be a fire deity being sent to deliver some sort of message or warning, but no one knows for sure what it could really be. What are your thoughts on this?
Olha, tá vendo aí, Drayton? Tem gente que não acredita não numa porra dessa, olha. E tá se mexendo, olha. Misericórdia. Como é que pode uma porra dessa?
A homeowner set up a motion-activated camera inside her house, hoping it would capture any unusual movement. When she reviewed footage from the cam later, she stumbled upon a chilling scene. In the middle of the night, a hazy figure appeared slowly descending the staircase. The upper part looked like a head with long, dark hair trailing behind it as if blown by an invisible wind. The rest of the figure seemed almost transparent, yet it was clear there was a distinct shape moving down the stairs. Shocked and unnerved, the woman couldn't explain what she saw, as she never experienced anything like it in her home. Could this be a spirit, a trick of the light, or something else entirely? A man was out on the open sea when he spotted something chilling within one of the waves. It was an alien-like face with glowing eyes, staring straight back at him. Just look at that face, not something you'd expect to see out there. The ocean holds countless mysteries, and sightings like this remind us just how eerie and unknown its depths truly are. But what could this creature be? Some speculate it could be a form of marine life we haven't discovered, while others wonder if it's something supernatural. I know what my money's on. But what's yours?
What do you want?
A man was walking through town when he noticed something unsettling. Someone was following him. Sensing danger, he quickly hid around the corner of a building, pulling out his camera and waited to see what would happen next. Sure enough, as soon as the follower rounded the corner, the man was ready, camera in hand. The stalker was shocked to be confronted with a camera in his face. He was a ragged-looking man with a suspicious demeanor that only added to the unease of the situation. The man being followed asked him directly what he was stalking him for, but the stalker said nothing. Instead, he just turned and walked away. Thinking he was safe, the man decided to continue on his way and took a bus to his destination. But just when he thought it was over, there he was again, the same stalker, now on the bus. The situation had gone from creepy to terrifying. I'm not sure how the situation ultimately ended, but I hope he called the police. Good thing he noticed earlier. There are a lot of stories that start like this but end in tragedies, so be very conscious out there.
What do you want?
Here we have some footage taken by someone who was up on a hill looking down when they spotted something truly bizarre. The creature they captured on camera looked like a giant insect, at least the size of a human adult. It was just walking forward, seemingly unaware that it was being watched from above. As terrifying as this looks, there's something about it that seems off. The movement, the texture, it all feels a bit too unnatural. This is definitely leaning towards CGI territory, but what do you think? Is it just a clever digital creation, or could there be something more to it?
This is a random one. Where are we even? Like, what the hell? Oh, that's on purpose. That has to be on purpose.
The fireman.
A group of friends were driving out of the Hollywood Hills when they stumbled upon something strange in Koreatown. It was a random flame on a building, and what's odd is that no one seemed to care. People were casually walking by, paying no attention to the fire. Given everything happening in Los Angeles right now, it makes you wonder, why isn't anyone alarmed by this fire? And when you start looking deeper into the situation with the LA fires, doesn't it feel like there's something off? Let's be clear, this isn't to diminish the pain and struggles of those directly affected, but have you ever stopped to think about why this has become such a dominant narrative? Who benefits from everyone being so focused on these fires? Could it be that this massive coverage is a way to distract us from something else going on in the shadows?
This is a random one. Where are we even? Like, what the hell? Oh, that's on purpose. That has to be on purpose.
The fireman.
That shit's turning, bro. Mom, es un hombre. Es un hombre.
Speaking of strange sights, take a look at this one. A young man was hanging outside one day when he noticed something unusual in the sky. He's heard saying the word hombre, which is Spanish for man. He believes the figure is a man, and looking at it, I understand why he thinks that. He tells his mom the same thing and uploads it online, asking if people could see what he saw. A chunk of the individuals in the paranormal community who saw it believed it was really a man. One individual, however, pointed out that it might be nothing more than a plastic bag that's been picked up by the wind. This, of course, led to a debate which repeated itself in our office when we tried to discuss it. But you've seen the clip, so what do you think? Animals are often said to have a sixth sense when it comes to certain things. They tend to catch on to impending danger much quicker than we humans would.
Explain this to me. Why are these ducks standing at attention in the rainstorm like they're about to receive marching orders? It's a beautiful rainy day and these ducks are just frozen solid.
In this video, a man came across something truly strange. A group of ducklings along with some adult ducks all standing perfectly still in the rain. They almost look frozen in time, as if something has them on high alert. What's even more eerie is that they all seem to be staring in the same direction, toward the pond. One commenter wrote, "Ducks know when a thunderstorm is coming, so they stay still." Could that be what's happening here? Are these ducks sensing an approaching storm, or is there something else that has them so focused and still?
Why are these ducks standing at attention in the rainstorm like they're about to receive marching orders? It's a beautiful rainy day and these ducks are just frozen solid.
Let's just say I was with somebody once and I saw a transformation that I can't explain.
The person transformed into something other than human.
Yes, I saw it.
Were you on drugs?
I was not. I was totally sober.
Wow.
During a podcast, musician Billy Corrigan shared a startling and bizarre experience that left listeners intrigued and unsettled. He recounted a moment when he was having a conversation with someone when, out of nowhere, he witnessed something unbelievable. The person he was talking to began to shapeshift. Corrigan didn't delve too deeply into what the person transformed into, but he was adamant about what he saw. He described watching in disbelief as the individual changed to form right before his eyes. The encounter was so surreal that Corrigan hesitated to provide more details, perhaps out of concern for how it might be received. However, the implication was clear. He had witnessed something extraordinary and beyond the realm of normal human experience. So does this mean that we're not alone on Earth and that aliens that we're waiting for might already be here?
Okay, but did you say to the person, what'd you just do here? That's
yes,
not you.
and they acknowledged it.
And what did they say they were? From another planet?
They wouldn't explain.
Why not?
Again, without telling the story, it's a really messed up story.
A famous person?
No.
They transformed into someone else or something
I mean, Billy,
else?
I've had that happen.
I'm being vague on purpose. It's up there with one of the most intense things I've ever been through.
A man from the Czech Republic shared a bizarre video he filmed after waking up one morning to see a long white streak rising straight up into the sky. At first glance, it looked like a contrail, like something from a jet, but then he moved the camera down and saw it was coming right out of his neighbor's chimney. Now, this isn't your usual chimney smoke. It's thin, bright white, and shoots up in a perfectly straight line, almost as if it's being pushed with force. Unlike the typical billowing grayish smoke you'd expect from a chimney. It's an unsettling sight, and you can't help but wonder what on earth could this neighbor be burning or cooking to produce smoke like this. Here we have yet another intriguing piece of footage, this time from Japan. This object is seen from a distance, resembling a meteorite falling toward Earth. As it approaches, it glows brighter and brighter. Just look at that. You can even see its reflection glistening across the sea below. It shines intensely for a moment, lighting up the night sky, and then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, it vanishes back into the darkness. If this and all the other meteorite clips we've seen are true, should we be worried? Why are a lot of them suddenly falling a lot to the Earth, especially now that we are visiting space a lot? Something to think about. Wouldn't you agree? We've come across many innovative technological inventions over the years, some of which have been groundbreaking, while others are downright disturbing. Recently, I came across something that might just blow your mind.
Image of a giraffe that the computer has never seen. It's only looking at the fMRI data, and this is what the computer thinks the human is seeing. Yeah. But of course it goes further. So in this one, they said, can they understand the inner monologue, the things you're saying to yourself? So they had people watch a video and just narrate what was going on in the video in their mind. So there's a woman, she gets hit in the back, she falls over. This is what the computer reconstructed the person thinking. See a girl, looks just like me, get hit in the back, and then she is knocked off. So our thoughts are starting to be decoded.
Scientists have discovered that our thoughts and dreams can now be decoded. In other words, a computer can literally read your mind and even see your dreams. Think about that for a moment. A machine that can tap into the deepest corners of your mind and reveal what's inside. How crazy is that? Not everyone believes that this is true. Take a look at this comment from the original post. Simply put, our technologies are not as advanced as the individual presenting in the video is making it out to be. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to this, so it's hard to pick a side. Who do you think might be telling the truth, though?
The person thinking. See a girl, looks just like me, get hit in the back, and then she is knocked off. So our thoughts are starting to be decoded.
Those who believe in the fake moon landing are gonna love this one.
Is anyone able to get to space from going through the firmament?
No one is able to reach space by going through the firmament. The firmament is considered to be a barrier that has never been penetrated by humans, not even in science fiction or NASA's outer space movies.
A woman recently asked Alexa about the firmament, and what she got back was more than just surprising. It was downright chilling. Take a listen. According to Alexa, the firmament is a dome that has never been penetrated by humans. In fact, humans have apparently tried to break through it by shooting high-altitude explosives at it, but nothing has ever gone through. Mind-blowing, right? I don't know what kind of tale this is, but it definitely raises some eyebrows. But here's the thing. This isn't the first time, nor will it be the last, that this supposed dome over the earth has been mentioned. It's actually in the Bible, and more recently, even Ryan Garcia, during one of his outbursts on social media, spoke about this mysterious firmament as well. So what do you think? Is the firmament real, or is this just another elaborate hoax?
No one is able to reach space by going through the firmament. The firmament is considered to be a barrier that has never been penetrated by humans, not even in science fiction or NASA's outer space movies.
Technology has played a massive role in the world's development, fueling our progress with resources like gas, petrol, oil, and so much more. But did you know that water was once explored as a potential fuel? Yes, a man named Stanley Mayer invented a car that ran entirely on water. That's right, water as fuel. His invention was so groundbreaking that even the Pentagon showed an interest in it. Imagine the possibilities. A vehicle requiring no expensive maintenance, no gas, no oil, just water. It could have revolutionized the world and solved countless problems, even helping to combat issues like flooding. Back in the 1990s, Stanley was on the brink of signing a multi-million-dollar deal for his invention. But then something strange happened. While dining out, he suddenly fell ill. On his deathbed, Stanley claimed he had been poisoned. He passed away unexpectedly, leaving his invention and its promise shrouded in mystery. Now here's the eerie part. Have you noticed how many inventors of world-changing eco-friendly technology seem to meet untimely and suspicious ends? Peoples whose innovations challenge powerful corporations often seem to vanish or die unexpectedly. Why do you think this happens?
If you use rainwater, well water, city water, ocean water, if you don't have any fresh water, go ahead and use snow. If you don't have any snow available to you, then use salt water because there's no adverse effect to the fuel cell.
A man was out driving late one night trying to capture the full moon on video for his kids when his truck suddenly jolted as if it hit something. Startled, he glanced at his rearview mirror, expecting to see debris or maybe an animal. Instead, his heart skipped a beat. A figure lay motionless on the ground behind his truck. Shaken, he turned to look with his own eyes, but the robe was empty. Confused, he checked the monitor again, and what he saw next froze him in place. The figure was no longer on the ground, it was standing upright, staring directly at his truck. Its faintly transparent form was eerily visible on the monitor, but when he looked back outside, there was nothing there. Was this a true ghostly encounter, or could there be another explanation for this unsettling event? Share your thoughts below. Skinwalkers are known in folklore as terrifying shapeshifters who mimic their victims to lure in others. The idea that they can replicate sounds like screams to draw people closer is unsettling to say the least. My team recently stumbled upon some footage online that seems to fit this eerie pattern. A man was exploring an abandoned building deep in the woods when he heard disturbing screams coming from below. The strange part? He couldn't see anyone or anything that could be making those sounds. While it certainly fits the description of skinwalker behavior, there's something off about it. I've seen other videos with these same screams, leading me to believe that this might just be edited footage. What about you? Do you think this is a real encounter or just a clever hoax? Elevator stories are some of the most terrifying encounters, and this footage is no exception. A woman was about to use an elevator in a building when she noticed something strange. The elevator doors were opening and closing aggressively, almost as if they had a mind of their own. Some might say it could be a malfunction, but if that's the case, shouldn't the elevator be out of service or at least have a warning sign? But others believe that this elevator might be haunted. There's an unsettling feeling that comes with seeing something so ordinary behave in such an eerie way. We don't know where this footage was taken, but one thing's for sure. If I ever see an elevator doing this, I wouldn't mind taking 1,000 stairs down instead. A family had been hearing footsteps in their home late at night and wanted to figure out what or who was causing the noise. So they decided to pour powder on the section of the hallway floor and set up a camera to capture any activity. Now, watch this. After some time, footprints started to appear in the powder, bare, human-shaped prints. But here's the twist. The family insists no one was there. At first glance, this seems pretty convincing, but when you look closely, it becomes clear that the footage has been edited. Sorry to disappoint, but this is fake footage. A man was relaxing in his home when he suddenly heard the doorbell ring. Curiously, he went to check, but to his surprise, there was no one at the door. So he decided to keep an eye on the doorbell video feed to see if anything unusual would happen. What he discovered was bizarre. As he watched the footage, he noticed a series of strange gurgling and growling sounds echoing eerily around the entrance. His attention was suddenly drawn to a peculiar flickering light that appeared right in front of his porch. Some people speculated that this might be the work of a supernatural entity trying to lure him and his family outside, but others with a more skeptical approach pointed out some important details. When you look at the side of the porch, there is a bucket filled with skulls and a long table decorated in a peculiar manner. This looks like Halloween decorations, and the flickering lights are a speaker with LED lights for the noises. Instead of a paranormal event, it seems more plausible that this is a Halloween prank, not a paranormal encounter.
Okay, where is this car that's reflecting on this Boston Pizza window? It's a Corvette C8. I seriously don't see that car anywhere.
A man was in the parking lot of a strip mall with different shops, and something strange caught his eye. As he looked at the window of the Boston Pizza Palace, he noticed the reflection of an orange sports car. The car was clearly visible in the glass, like it was parked right there in front of the building. But here's where it gets weird. As he panned the camera around to check out the parking lot, there was no sign of an orange sports car anywhere. Not even a single sports car in sight, let alone one that could cast that kind of reflection. What's going on here? Is this a case of a matrix glitch where reality itself seems to bend and warp in ways we can't explain, or is there some other explanation that we're missing?
Okay, where is this car that's reflecting on this Boston Pizza window? It's a Corvette C8. I seriously don't see that car anywhere.
Now, still on the topic of aircraft, here's a chilling call that came through a plane's radio. Take a listen.
Approach 8002. 8002, Road. My co-pilot just ran out the back of the plane. He just did what now? He just ran out the back of the plane.
So you don't have a co-pilot on, you said?
No, he just jumped out the back of the plane.
Right.
Would you like me to circle where he left at?
Say that again?
Would you like me to circle where he got out at, or you got me on track?
We still have you on track. Did you need something else?
No, the dude literally jumped out the back of the plane without a parachute.
Did you need to do something else, circle or something? Or?
No, I need to land. I'm just making you aware you're going to have a dead body out where I just called you at. He just jumped out the back of the plane.
You're right. Did it continue on you heading 050?
0500.
The pilot reported something truly bizarre. His co-pilot suddenly got up from his seat and, without warning, ran to the back of the plane without a parachute. The urgency and confusion in the pilot's voice made it clear that this was completely unexpected. So it's strange and unnerving. Why would someone suddenly abandon their post like that, especially without any safety gear? What could have compelled the co-pilot to make such a rash decision in mid-flight? Was it fear, panic, or could there be something more mysterious at play here?
My co-pilot just ran out the back of the plane.
He just did what now?
He just ran out the back of the plane.
Here's another eerie encounter to think about. A woman was attending a mass, and while the priest read the passage about the death of Jesus, something strange happened. The head of Jesus' statue on the cross began to move, tilting slowly downward, almost as if acknowledging the sorrowful moment. What makes this especially eerie is that the statue is made of solid concrete, so it shouldn't have any mobility, let alone the ability to move in sync with the priest's words. Was this a supernatural sign, a message, or just an odd occurrence? This next video comes from a woman who was simply trying to capture a sweet moment with her puppy before going to bed. She was recording her pup on the bed, intending to share the clip online, but as she watched it back, she noticed something chilling. As the camera panned over the puppy, it briefly caught something at the foot of the bed near the ground. There, staring up, was the distorted face of a woman. Her eyes were hollow, her hair disheveled, and her expression hauntingly blank. Terrified, the woman ran from her room and couldn't bring herself to sleep there for weeks, only returning once she was certain the face was gone. The question remains, what was that face? This woman shared a chilling experience and discovery from her property in upstate New York. One day, she was outside with her dogs when she heard her neighbor calling her name. Thinking he needed help, she headed toward the voice. Then, something felt off. It was coming from deep inside the woods. Confused, she texted her neighbor, and guess what? He said he wasn't even home. The voice sounded exactly like him, though. This has all the hallmarks of a mimic encounter, doesn't it? Mimics are infamous for imitating human voices to lure unsuspecting victims, but there's something even more unsettling about this story. The woman, a farmer, owns a property with a barn. While walking her land, she stumbled across something odd, 4-foot-deep crevices running along the edges of her property. These crevices weren't natural, they were deliberately filled with wooden debris. And here's the kicker, they were already there when she bought the place. Her gut tells her that whoever owned the land before her wasn't just dealing with an ordinary pest problem. Were they trying to keep something out? Or worse, keep something in? Could mimics be the reason for these eerie defenses? What's your take on it?
But this is kind of how a lot of them are. Like, I didn't put any of this stuff in these crevices. Trees grow up, like, I mean, it goes down, like right there, is 3 feet, from 3-4 feet. And I didn't put any of this stuff in here. This was all here because of the farmer. I guess maybe he did it.
Let's take a look at this footage. A man was out alone one night exploring the woods when he stumbled upon this abandoned boat sitting on land. It looked out of place, and inside the boat were boxes and random items scattered around. As he walked around the boat, he passed by a wide open window. Suddenly, something inside the boat moved. You can see it. It's a figure shifting in the darkness. The man panicked and bolted out there, clearly shaken. Now let's replay that moment. It's dark, so we can't make out much detail, but you can see what looks like brown fur, broad shoulders and arms. Some people think this is an alien, but honestly, it might just be a bear taking shelter. What do you think? Have you ever wondered what insects really look like up close? Sure, we're much bigger than them, but when you zoom in on their faces, it's downright haunting. Take a look at the close-up of an ant's face. Those sharp mandibles, those alien-like eyes. It almost looks like something straight out of a horror movie. And here's another shocker. This is the face of a tapeworm. Hideous, right? Those tiny, squirmy creatures actually look so terrifying when magnified. Honestly, it's probably for the best that they stay as tiny as they are. This video was taken by a woman attending a business meeting. Afterwards, she recorded one of her colleagues without noticing anything unusual at the time. But when they rewatched the footage, things took a strange turn. A colleague, who was a woman with long, dark hair wearing a blue vest, was seen walking away with her back turned. Then as she turned slightly to the left to glance over her shoulder and smile, something bizarre happened. Her body seemed to glitch. Her entire front appeared to swap with her back, almost as if her body had turned without her actually moving. And then it happened again. The sight has sparked a heated debate. Some argue it's just a clever video edit, but skeptics believe it may show something truly unsettling, like the sign of a shapeshifter. What do you think?
Look at him spraying. Look at that. Look at that. He is spraying the sky again. Bro, this is crazy, man.
You know how we've been seeing weird outlines in the sky? Well, this man actually caught a craft creating one live, and that's what you're actually watching on your screen right now. If you pay attention to the clip, you should see the plane flying vertically with what looks like a cloud behind it. According to the man filming, the plane is actually spraying something into the atmosphere that's leaving the outline. He's shocked and intrigued at the same time, wondering what all could be going on. If you've been on this channel long enough, then you've probably heard of chemtrails, which is what we think the plane might be discharging. For the new ones here, the chemtrail conspiracy theory suggests that the white streaks left behind by aeroplanes, known as contrails, are not just water vapor and ice crystals, but actually chemicals deliberately sprayed into the atmosphere by governments or other entities. The conspiracy theory suggests that they're being used for purposes such as weather control, population manipulation, or even secret biological experiments. Despite its popularity in conspiracy circles, scientists and aviation experts have repeatedly debunked the theory, explaining that contrails form naturally when hot, moist exhaust from aircraft engines meets cold air at high altitudes, creating visible condensation. There's no credible evidence supporting the existence of chemtrails, but the theory persists due to distrust in authority and misinterpretation of atmospheric science. You've seen the clip yourself, so what do you also think?
Look at that. Look at that. He is spraying the sky again.
A TikToker hiker recently shared a chilling experience from his nighttime hike in the Appalachian Mountains. Check out the footage. In the middle of his hike, he started hearing strange noises echoing through the woods. It sounded like people calling for help and crying out in distress. Now, if you know anything about the Appalachian Mountains, you're aware of the legends surrounding them. Stories of mysterious creatures and unexplained phenomenon are pretty common. The uploader suggested this might actually be a Wendigo or a mimic. I know it sounds like a bit of a stretch, but this is the Appalachian Mountains we're talking about. Julius, our scientist, listened to the audio and stated that it was oddly familiar. He argued that there was a chance the sounds we were hearing were pre-recorded and uploaded. Personally, I must say that after listening over and over and over, I have to agree with Julius on this one. It really does seem like the sounds were pre-recorded and added to the footage. While it's definitely spooky, I'm calling this one a hoax. Nice try, though. Next, we've got another woman who found some bizarre footage on a security camera set up just outside her home. In the video, a massive creature roughly the size of a moose approaches a doorstep. The creature is covered in all white fur with unusually long and thick paws. Its face has a strange, almost otherworldly look resembling an anteater in shape, but not covered in fur, and its mouth is elongated, though not quite as long as that of an anteater. It's hard to tell if this is a real creature caught on camera or if it could be AI generated. If it's authentic, we could be looking at a completely unknown species or perhaps even a rare genetic mutation in an animal we already know. Lab-grown meat has been approved for sale, and it's been hailed as a sustainable alternative to traditional meat production. But what does this mean for all the cattle, chickens, and other animals raised for food? Are we transitioning entirely to lab meat, or will traditional animal farming continue? The idea behind lab-grown meat, also known as cultured meat, is to reduce the need for animal farming, which could help lower greenhouse gas emissions and lessen animal suffering. But is it safe? Lab-grown meat is produced by taking cells from animals and growing them in a nutrient-rich medium, often involving fetal bovine serum extracted from unborn calves. To prevent contamination in the lab environment, lab-grown meats require antibiotics and other chemicals, but that doesn't seem like a healthy and safe option for humans to consume. It is like we are saving the cows in the environment, as they put it, but at our own risk. A man was out for a late night stroll in the park when he noticed this figure standing under a streetlight, staring intently into the light. It looks humanoid and male and is covered in a long black robe from neck to toe. The only part of him visible was his pale head. His ears were slightly pointed and had an unnaturally shaped appearance. The man, feeling an overwhelming sense of unease, decided to maintain a safe distance while filming this strange encounter on his phone. Suddenly, without warning, the figure whips around to face him, but you cannot see his face well due to the darkness. The man believes that this was a vampire. In today's world, with all the myths and legends surrounding supernatural creatures, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. Soon after sharing his experience, a commenter chimed in with an interesting observation saying this: "Pretty sure I've seen this in a film or a short film for school. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is." Could this be the case, or could it actually be a genuine vampire encounter? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section. This next footage comes from a police body cam. The officer was on patrol late at night when he noticed a blue 1999 Chevy parked on the side of the road. So he approached the car. Take a look at the passenger side window. There it is, a hand pressed against the glass, but then it just disappears. As the officer got closer and peeked inside, he found the car completely empty. That's right, no one was inside, and yet we clearly saw that hand on the window. Things got even stranger when the officer walked around the car. The radio suddenly turned on and started playing, but the car was not even running. The dash cam revealed no ignition activity and there wasn't a soul around. So how did this car get there, and who or what was left behind? I guess we'll never truly know.
This is some spooky right here. I'm gonna have to call this in the sheriff's department.
During a recent SpaceX rocket launch, one of the onboard cameras captured something strange in the footage. Take a close look. In the corner on the left side of the screen, there's a winged figure hovering near the rocket. It appears humanoid in shape with large defined wings. The figure only stays visible for a brief moment before retreating from the frame. What could this possibly be? Some believe it was the Angel of Death that perhaps changed its mind midway launch. Others suggest it might be a large bird that happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The Angel of Death bit sounds very interesting, but what do you think? Someone shared a video where they'd just gotten a fresh meat cut, likely straight from a butcher, and what happened next really stunned people online. On the surface of the meat, you can see twitching and pulsing movements like little tremors traveling all over. It almost looks like the meat is still alive, even though it's been clearly cut and cleaned. Some viewers were shocked and even disturbed by the footage, wondering what exactly they were witnessing, but a few people chimed in with an explanation that this is what muscle spasms look like after death. Yes, it's rare but not impossible. If the nerves in the meat are still intact or haven't completely broken down, they can continue to fire electrical impulses, especially if the meat is very fresh or has been exposed to certain triggers like salt or touch. That causes the muscle fibers to contract and twitch even after the animal has been long dead. So it's a natural biological reaction and oddly fascinating. Would you still eat it after seeing it twitch like that? And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.